Welcome everyone, this is Master's Joke, also Master's Joke 75 on Instagram. So today I'm opening up one of my favourite characters from the Star Wars universe. It's the Emperor. Not Emperor Palpatine, the Emperor. One of my favourite Star Wars figures from the original line as well. He wasn't the greatest figure from the original line, but he was, I don't know, because Return of the Jedi was the first Star Wars movie that I saw in the cinema, and I missed Empire Strikes Back, so I saw Star Wars, or A New Hope as it's now called, on ITV back in the 80s. I think it was on 3 years in a row, and then when Return of the Jedi came out, my brother took me to the cinema, and it just absolutely blew me away. And then obviously Christmas 1985 was, I had a handful of figures, but Christmas 1985 is when I got all the bad boys, and never looked back. And I suppose it's the nostalgia, because I found him so creepy and scary. I wasn't aware of him from Empire Strikes Back because I'd never seen him. Yeah, and that scene when he was giving like Luke the electric force shocks, it really, that's the dishwasher in the background, it really had an effect on me. So when I was able to pick up the figure in the Tesco sale, I was just over the moon. And also I love the fact that the original Emperor had flared trousers from the 70s. And as I am opening up the vintage collection Emperor, I thought I'd bring down from the toy room, this is the original Emperor from Christmas 1985. What an amazing figure. He might have been just after Christmas with my Christmas money, but I'm pretty certain he came from Christmas 1985 because I had loads of figures to open. And this is my original with his flared trousers, and unlike the retro collection, which everyone knows I love the retro collection, it's perfectly smooth here, whereas the retro collection version has like a, Hasbro made an error and they never corrected it. Not like Hasbro to make any errors on the retro collection. I'm not saying anything about my yak face with no ears, but this figure just means so much to me. It's just nostalgia overload. It's another one of those figures that I would never get rid of because I had so many adventures. He was a figure that I did play with, but what I used to do with my old school Star Wars figures is I'd always make that scene where I'd set up all my stormtroopers and Imperial officers, Darth Vader, and they'd all be standing up in my base, and they'd be waiting for the Emperor to arrive for inspection. And that's and that's why I love the new Moff's Star Cruiser corridor, which is in the back there. And I just thought, if I'm going to open up the Emperor, let's open him up and set him up inside the Moff's corridor, because I absolutely love it. I just love the shiny floors. So that's what I'm going to do today. So this Emperor, I'll put this one, I'll put my original in the Moff's corridor. But this Emperor, just have a look at the face sculpt. I love it. Proper. It's his proper evil face that. In my opinion, it's from when he's giving Luke a battering with the old, the old Force electric shocks, which he actually comes with. I don't know if you can see in the back there, in the bubble tray, he comes with it. This figure's been out for ages, and I bought it ages ago. I bought this from Star Action Figures, but I've had so much stuff, I just never got around to opening it. I've obviously got one on the wall in the toy room because Return of the Jedi is my favourite movie. So I'd say the majority of my Star Wars vintage collection figures that are on display are Return of the Jedi. So I've got one on the wall, but I've been meaning to open this for ages. I think I paid maybe like $7.99 from Star Action Figures, good couple of years ago. Just never got around to it. I think the Emperor's actually been to Alton Broad with me. I was going to open him, I just never got round to it. So it's purely because I've got the Moff's corridor. I just think it's the right setup to take some decent photos and footage of the Emperor. So this is VC200, and just looking, you know, this did come out a good couple of years ago, probably 3 years ago, but I've actually got, for once, because yeah, during the pandemic, when I got back into Star Wars figures, and starting to, you know, pre-order waves, you know, when I didn't have nothing else to spend the old cash on, loads of excess cash to splash. Yeah, you know, and obviously Star Wars figures were essential purchases during the pandemic years. But yeah, I've got every single one of these figures, which is nice. It's not very often that I can say I've got every single one of the figures. The card is it's surprisingly thicker than I thought than I remembered, but it's not as thick as you know, the vintage collection cards are now. But yeah, very much looking forward to it. I've got quite a few variations of the Emperor over the years, but with the Force electric shocks, very much reminds me of the Power of the Force 2 special effects figure, where you could, you know, where you press him. Do you press his back and it lights up? I think it lights up. I think it's orange. I don't think it lights up blue. But yeah, I just love the Emperor. Just love Return of the Jedi. I love Star Wars. And also, I did manage to watch the final episode of the Skeleton Crew. I loved it. I mean, you know, you wouldn't say, oh, it's the best ending to any series ever. It was brilliant. I really, really enjoyed it. Jude Law was good. Was good. It's great seeing lightsabers because it's nostalgia. I'm a sucker for nostalgia. It made sense. Proper 1980s, you know, Goonies, E.T. vibes. I mean, I loved it. I really did enjoy it. I know some people hated it, but I think some people are now at that stage where they just hate anything to do with Disney Star Wars. So I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to the retro collection. That's not going to happen, let's be honest. But and Nick Frost, for me, Nick Frost, who saved my wife's life. I don't like to talk about it, but I thought he was just brilliant. He was absolutely amazing in it. So I've got no faults. I mean, it's not the best Star Wars series in the world, but I was captivated the whole time. Really, really enjoyed it. So, you know, highly recommended. If you haven't seen it, check it out. Definitely a series for adults because it's full of nostalgia. I just don't think that youngsters are into Star Wars like they used to, like us back in the day. But yeah, the Emperor, I'm going to open him up today. So that's VC200, and I mean, there's only one way to do this. I know everyone is over Christmas, but I'm going to open him up like it was Christmas 1985. It's got to be done, especially with his brother over there in the Moff's corridor. But tomorrow, because it's Thursday today, because I'm so busy that when I'm making these videos, they're actually going out on the same day. So the days of me like making a couple at a time and having them all ready to go, I'm just so busy at the moment. But tomorrow I've got a day off. I'm going to Milton Keynes. And I won't be going toy hunting in Lame and Smith Toys and the Entertainer. I won't be going toy hunting because you're not allowed to. So I will be not toy hunting, looking for Star Wars figures in Lame, the Entertainer, and hopefully Smith Toys as well. Maybe B&M. Maybe I won't be toy hunting in B&M as well, looking for the old Daleks. But I don't think I'm going to buy that Cyberman 3-pack. But we'll see. But yeah, hopefully we'll see how, it depends if there's any children in the aisles, who should be at school. But hopefully I'll be doing a not toy hunting for Star Wars figures video. We'll see what happens. But let's get this bad boy Emperor open just like it was Christmas 1985. So let's do this. Right, so we got the. Look at the Emperor's hands. I'm trying to get them into focus. Yeah, they do look good. They do look good. And he's got his walking stick. It'll be interesting to compare his walking stick to the original from the 1980s. And then we've obviously got the Emperor with his soft goods. And I'm thinking he might be the first Emperor that I've ever owned that does come with soft goods. So that is interesting. The only thing is with like Vader and like Stormtroopers, they look great in the tentative 4 set. They look fantastic because with the white of the background, they just especially Vader, they really stand out. But I'm wondering how the Emperor's gonna kind of stand out in the Moff's starship corridor, because it is quite dark. But I have got a few Stormtroopers there, and I've tried to make their stances not so wide as per Chuffy Futter's suggestion. So yeah, let's get the Emperor out of his bubble tray, and we'll have a proper look. Well, so here he is, the old Emperor Palpatine, and I've got to say he's a decent figure. The actual soft goods are so thick. It's so nice. It's so nice to see a vintage collection action figure that someone has really gone to the trouble to kind of make it properly. I mean, I can tell that whoever kind of put this guy together, they care about the character. Loads of effort and love has gone into it. The actual face sculpt, just get him into focus. I just think it's amazing. I think it's great. And he's got, although he's soft goods, he's got like a plastic hood, but it works. It works really well. I'm quite happy with that. I wasn't sure, but it does look really, really good. He looks so evil. Reminds me of Regan from The Exorcist. Was it Regan? I'm sure it was Regan, but it proper looks evil. Look at his deformed hands and stuff. And the thing is, right? I know there's not a lot of lovers of the sequel trilogy, and I know it didn't make that much sense, but I loved it. I really did love it. I've watched it loads of times because it's just full of nostalgia. It don't make sense. It's more like an anniversary special, but they've started, they've started bringing, the odd figure back from the sequel trilogy. You had Finn released not that long ago, which I still need to open. I really want them to, in the vintage collection, release a Dark Ray and also a cloned Emperor Palpatine. I thought he looked great because he was wearing like purple and was it like purple and red in his outfit, and I know he was in that kind of weird contraption. But I really I love the character. I love the Emperor. So I'd love them to release a vintage collection version of Emperor Palpatine, the clone from the Rise of Skywalker. I think that would be great, and I'd definitely buy it. And I know yesterday Hasbro revealed some of their new vintage collection figures, and definitely, I mean, Balin Skull. I think I might have to buy him because he's one of my favourite characters. I absolutely love him. I was tempted for the Black series because he's one of my favourite characters from the Disney Plus Star Wars series. Very, very tempted to buy the Black Series one, but I thought I don't really collect Black Series. But now he's in the vintage collection, I think I'm going to buy him. Just treat myself, do you know what I mean? Because I've been really good. I've not bought anything at all this year. Oh, I bought a few Arsenal shirts on New Year's Day when I went to Braintree. But no, I've not bought any. I've not bought any toys, any Star Wars. I've not done a toy hunt. I don't do toy hunts anymore. I do not toy hunts. But yeah, so I might. Yeah, I'd like to pick up the Emperor, and I still want to pick up that HK-87 assassin droid that came out not too long ago. I mean, I'm gonna have a look in Lame. If I see it in Lame, I think it's $13.99 in Lame. Might treat myself. I don't know yet, but yeah, really impressed with this. It's interesting to see what he's got up his. You know, he's not wearing flares. He's not wearing flares. He's got boots on. But yeah, I like it. Again, I'm always like cautious about about bending the arms because the vintage collection is so well. The earlier figures are so kind of fragile. So yeah, because I want to be able to bend his arms when I put his when I put his electric force shocks on because you got to take his hands off and put them on. What I'll do, I'll wait until I've changed his hands over and then have a proper look at his his bends. But I'm proper pleased with this so far. So I'm going to just have a look at his accessories. Right, so looking at his accessories, he comes with. I'm going to try and get this, pick this up on camera. There we go. But look at that. They're great. Proper Power of the Force 2, 1990 vibes. But look at his hands. It's proper evil. So he's got two of them. So I think that's a nice touch. I do like accessories on a figure, and also he comes with his walking stick, which is proper 1980s vibes for me as well, because you can recognise that straight away. I mean, look at my original Christmas 1985 Palpatine. And there's the new version, and you know they're not exactly the same, but the shape is the same. So I mean, it's so it's so easy to identify. You know this is Palpatine's walking stick. So yeah, I'm well happy with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set him up, and I'm going to put him in the Moff's corridor, and we'll have a proper look at him, and then after I've done that, I'll stick his force hands on, and we'll I don't know, maybe we'll kill a stormtrooper or something. So yeah, let's set him up and we'll have a proper look. Honestly, I think he looks amazing. They look perfect in the Moff's Star Cruiser corridor. It just looks perfect. I absolutely love it, and of course it works so well with stormtroopers because as you can see, the floor, which is what I love about it, the floor reflects the actual figure, and they stand out so well in the black background. But surprisingly, Vader, so this vintage collection Vader, in my opinion, one of the best vintage collection Darth Vaders they've ever made, from the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. He just looks amazing. The Emperor, I mean, I haven't even looked at his Force electric shocks yet. 10 out of 10. You know, he's got his walking stick. He's a bit he's looking a bit naughty, you know, he's looking very naughty. He looks like he just looks sick, basically. He just looks like a complete monster. So not really the right type of pose and facial feature to meet Darth Vader on the Death Star, which was the kind of pose I was going for. But it's a great figure because, you know, I've got my old school Emperor to kind of to meet Vader on the Death Star. you know, in a kind of, you know, in a kind of, you know, that kind of professional old geezer look with his gentleman's walking stick, whereas the vintage collection one, VC200, he's just a nutter, an absolute nutter. And I'll put Grand Moff Tarkin, who I recently found. I sort of knew he was there. Found him in my New Year's Eve special Rebel Transport video, and I rate him. I mean, look, I know he's Power of the Force 2, and he was the first ever release of Moff Tarkin, but he's my favourite. I don't know why, but he's my favourite Moff Tarkin that Hasbro have ever released. So let's have him. Let's just stick him there. Is he going to knock everyone over? Just behind. And then I need an Emperor's Royal Guard, don't I? So you got to go. Look, and again, in my opinion, out of all the Star Wars figures, all the Emperor's Royal Guards ever released, because obviously you had an Emperor's Royal Guard, which I've got. He's on the wall in the toy room from the vintage collection. In my opinion, the best one is the original Return of the Jedi version. Look, I mean, look at it. Soft goods. It's just a perfect figure. Now this is the retro collection version. I've still got my original. He's in the toy room, but I don't have his accessory. So yeah, I picked out the Vader's fallen. Picked out the retro collection, but yeah, he's my favourite. He's my favourite Emperor's Royal Guard. But yeah, really happy. So what I'm going to do now? Oh, it's a shame Vader fell down. I don't know. Is he going to stand? Yeah, there you go. I'm really pleased with Palpatine. So what I'm going to do now? I'm gonna put his Force hands in, and then we're going to kill a Stormtrooper. Why not? So yeah, I'm going to do that now. I don't know why I chose a Stormtrooper, or why the Emperor would kill us. I don't know. I didn't have a Luke to hand. Let's be honest. I didn't remember that Emperor Palpatine did have the Force effects hand feature. So that's why I didn't bring a Luke Skywalker down from the toy room. But no, honestly, he looks good. I've got to be honest. His arms, the articulation, I don't think it's that great in relation to being able to pose him with his stick, and also pose him with the shocks coming out of his fingers. It's quite difficult to pose him. And I'm finding it difficult to kind of, because I wanted to have both his hands or his arms out in front of him, and I've found it quite difficult to achieve that. So, but that's not, you know, I've got no issues with that. I think it's a great figure. It's 10 out of 10. I mean, let me just give you a quick close up of the actual Force feature. I mean, it does look good, but I'm just having a bit of just a little bit of trouble just trying to kind of I don't know, pose him in the way that I want. But I absolutely love it. 10 out of 10 any day of the week. I didn't notice his wonderful belt, or would you call it, a sash, or maybe it's a sash. But this figure would be easy to just replicate for the Rise of Skywalker. Obviously, you need to change the colouring, but it would, honestly, I'd please bring out the Emperor in the Rise of Skywalker in his new gear. I think it would look great. It's and also I want to see Dark Rey, and I've said it before. I want to see Dark Rey in her own movie. Let's correct. I mean, they weren't great. The Force Awakens was brilliant. I loved it, but it was just a New Hope. It was basically a New Hope. Let's be honest. I love Kylo Ren, but Rey, I just kind of think Dark Rey, with her, her double-ended lightsaber. she's got a story to tell, and all this. I mean, I know it's kind of gone quiet, but all this talk about like a Rey movie, I don't know what's going to happen with it, but just have Dark Rey. I don't know, an alternative timeline. That's what I want, but I know a lot of people would disagree with me. But yeah, 10 out of 10 for this figure. But I will definitely not keep him in the force effect hands. I'll just have him in his normal hands with his walking stick. But yeah, well happy. And also talking of the, I mean, this is about the Emperor. I've just dumped him. Talking of the actual Emperor's Royal Guard being one of my favourite figures. Chuffy Futter sent me only the other day an Emperor's Royal Guard Lego figure, and I've just put him together, and he will sit in my Lego Emperor's throne room. I say it's mine. I bought it for my son. He was over the moon, but obviously this was back in the Father Christmas days, so I sort of bought it for myself. And one of these days, when he does move out, which I don't want him to, but you know, I know he's only 11, but when he does move out, he'll say, I want that Snake Man, and I want that Emperor's throne room, and I want all my Star Wars figures that you've kept for me, because I still got to go through all this stuff, and I'll have to end up buying it off him, won't I? And also Chuffy Futter, I did show it on my other video, he got me this as well, the Emperor's Royal Guard kind of little mini head, which I think is great. I love this figure, but let's not forget that this is about the Emperor. This is about the Emperor. So 10 out of 10. Let Your Eyes Be Your Guide. Still available, but highly recommended. I'm so glad I opened it, and I'm so glad I waited until I had the correct backdrop. But that is the end of the video. Maybe I better move that. That is the end of the video. Oh look, I didn't compare the original Emperor to the new version. Stick another Stormtrooper in there. And the Moff Tarkin, Peter Cushing. But that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. As I said, I'm not going on a toy hunt. I'm not going on a toy hunt tomorrow to Milton Keynes for Star Wars figures, and I'll not be toy hunting in Lame, Smith's Toys, The Entertainer, because apparently I knew that the figures had dropped, because it's all the same. They're great figures. It's all the same. It's the usual suspects. And they were £4 each. Then they dropped to £3, and apparently they're like £2.25 each. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. To take a look. So I won't be shopping. No, I won't be toy hunting in The Entertainer either, and I won't be toy hunting in B&M for Doctor Who Dalek figures. But I will be shopping. So yeah, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.